Right, we're live. Mr. Fannin, take it away. I'm going to go make sure that everyone who asked for the links got it. You do it.
Make sure those guys are in. And yeah, we are back. The boys are back in town. The Jedi and the Rebel. And, reflecting over that little lockdown live that we've been doing, we've been bringing some fire, different languages, philosophy, science, spiritual, real talk. Oh, man, it's all been going down. So we're glad to be back. We're glad to be here. Like always, we're going to set this place on fire. And I've especially wore my smiley T-shirt today to keep the vibes high. And before we deep dive into anything, as you know, your admission into today's lockdown live is to share with me and the Jedi your best bits of this week.
Yeah, what's been the best bits? I'm actually sending this link out as we speak.
Yeah.
That's why I look a bit like Gormless at the computer, because I'm trying to figure shit out. I can't figure it out. There we go. I've figured it out. Yeah, say hello. Tune in, folks. Say hello. Say hey. Let us know what you've been up to. We've been off for a few weeks. How long have we been off for? Like 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yeah, 3 4 weeks.
We have been off the grid.
Mate,
We've been off the grid.
But we're back.
Not so much in what we're doing. We haven't.
You there? You there, Ben?
Yeah, I'm there. I've got your message. Lockdown Live has finally gone live. So
Nice.
yeah, we've been offline for 3 weeks. Again, to come back better, bigger, badder, stronger. We loved it so much. We come back for round 2. This time round, I think it's gonna get a little bit crazy. And no, I'm excited for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, what's up? Who we got here? Can you see the comments? We got Stephen in. What's up, mate? Mary's in. Louise in. Got to move on at work. A few hiccups. Nice. That's cool for you. Sue's in. What's up, Sue? Nice to see you. Paul McManus is in. Yeah, in our program, Paul, in Academy. Great for him. Rebecca's in. Alexander's in. Louise is in. Rose is in. Tara's in. Yeah, loads of people. If you're tuning in, like Ben said, here's the deal. Hit the like button. Say hey. Claire's in. Nice. What's up? And yeah, let us know what you've been up to last week. What's been the best bit of your week? And then I think we're just going to crack on and share some stuff about the new normal and how to actually go about mastering this new normal, so to speak. I think that's what we decided, wasn't it, Ben?
Yeah, man, we're gonna go local.
Yeah.
In fact, for everyone that's coming in, like we said before, Si, we do this with the right intentions, and we put this information out there not to do anything else, but to help somebody. So while you're here right now, just start liking and sharing this. Put it into communities that you know. If you know us, you know what we're about. Just share it in your own page. Share it in a page that could get some benefit from this. Anywhere. Put it in people's messenger box. Prompt people, prod people, annoy people with this stuff. Just get out there. If you love and you like, then share for us guys in the hope that it can help somebody.
Definitely. I think the thing is as well, I was thinking about this, mate. Getting some quality of information out is king. Like good information. I think we've got a load of cool guests coming over the next 6-7 weeks. We've got Tom Phillips coming on, who's so switched on with breathing and how to calm yourself down and your nervous system and physio. Like people will get so much from that practical. We got your man Phil coming on, talking about loads of great stuff. With what's he talking about?
Crazy. We're going to be just talking about how, if we got poor mental health, how it has a massive, massive detrimental effect on us. And, the whole part of, what you got to understand is also what we eat can dictate how we feel, right? So we're just going to be going through some basics. This man's a legend if you don't know who he is. Like Si's bringing him on. He's trained some of the best in the world right now. He's training Eddie Orr, which is the strongest man in the world. And the fine-tuning that he done with that man, he will tell you himself, is the reason why he's the strongest man in the world. So it makes sense. We're listening to people who are getting on type of results, right? So yeah, I'm excited for that one.
Arjuna's coming back in for one. Logan Henry's coming over, hopefully to do one. Loads of cool people.
Nice.
Me and you. So, folks, if you're tuning in, like I said, hit the like button. Share your best bit of the week, and then we'll crack on with some content more. Nice to see a load of you finally getting the message and rolling in now. So, Ben, what have you been up to last couple of weeks? While waiting for people to tune in, hit the like button, and all the rest of it. What have you been up to last couple of weeks? Come on, since we've been on a break, what have you been up to?
Well, you know, I've been building out some stuff, but more than foremost, I've been going crazy on my mobility training. Like, I've got to say that is some high. And people say, oh, that's a bit boring, but I think you hit a sweet spot with something, and you're like, man, this is making a hell of a lot of difference. I'm talking about posture, my sleep, just these minute things. But I actually done for a long time, for the first time in a long time, a 30-minute run the other day.
Nice.
Non-stop, good pace. Like, I could have gone more. It was just a 30-minute run in fitting time, but you know, a little sweet spot of results. Great. Been doing some great meditation with you. Been getting some great results in that, right? Which we're ready to blow up with the world. Some real data on what we've been doing. So a lot's been happening, but yeah, adjusting to the new normal.
Yeah, man. So I've been doing. I've been playing loads of piano or keyboard, practicing piano with Annie. That's been cool. Obviously, you know, we got the meditation app, like the brainwave stuff we got going on. We got that being built so people can actually see we can track people's brainwaves and see what's actually going on, which I'm dead excited about. I've been doing loads of walking. I'll tell you, I've been doing loads of walking because I always walk when I find I'm stuck in this void, this space. Like, I had a real busy few weeks. Who on here did the 7-day challenge with us, the free 7-day challenge? That was a real good challenge, and it makes me real busy. Oh, you probably noticed. It makes you real busy. And we had probably our biggest, best 30-day challenge that had just finished. And then I end up in this little void of nothing. And I'm sort of waiting for the next thing. And I always end up doing loads of walking. When I find there's loads of information and loads of ideas coming in, I just like to get some space. So I've been doing loads of walking, loads of delivering. And yeah, that's what I've been up to last few weeks. Bit of piano, learning Killer Queen, trying to get good at that. That's a funny little tune. But yeah, that's where I've been at. That's where I've been at. Yeah.
Hey, that's a great point that you make, because sometimes you get that progression and you're like, damn, where do I go from here? And you know, you always say, man, if you get quiet enough, it'll come towards you as well. I've had a bit of that chaotic business going on, and you know, I was getting absorbed in some stuff. But yeah, being able to just sit back and observe a little bit, man, I found some great answers this week. Some great solutions, not answers.
Yeah.
Some great steps moving forward.
When you stop being afraid of your own thinking and that, silence becomes a really powerful tool.
Look at that for a question. What would you do if you wasn't afraid?
Yeah. Yeah, what would you do? What would you do on here if you weren't afraid? Who we got on here, by the way? I'd like to mention some people. Jamie Walker, me and loved it. Roll On Academy. Yeah, Jamie was in the 30-day. Roll On Academy, definitely. I'm learning piano too. Nice, Zara. All right, Melissa, what's up? Feeling like that today? Going out for a walk? Yeah, it's good. Get some space. Paul McManus, Lynn's Ward's in. Yeah. On that note, guys, we got a new 30-day challenge starting Monday, and we have got 4 or 5 places left, which is not many considering like normally we have like a lot more this time. So I'm probably going to send all that information out to every lockdown viewer after this feed. Just the information if you want it. Like, it's our best 30-day program, the Free Mind Principles. So like that information is there. So if you're after that information, or if you're not after it, if you're on our list, you're going to get it about 4:30 maybe by the time I get off here. But I'm going to send that out. It's 4 or 5.
I'll add to that. You know, this is for, you know, if you want it, this is for the type of people that, you know, you're just at a position now, you're a little bit stuck and you want to move forward, right? You just don't know in what direction. You want some crazy delusional confidence. You know, you want that illegal freedom, which now you have to go and get. You know, you want to feel better, think better, act better. You're ready for that change, but you just want to, you know, you're on the edge of committing. I mean, this is groundbreaking stuff, but people have to step forward with this. You know, people would talk about marketing, promotion, all this type of stuff. This is to the people that want to change. This is to the people that want to take that next step. If it isn't, it doesn't mean that it's not for you. It might be a different time and a place, and now is not the right time. But from being coached aside over these years, for anybody who wants to change, regardless what's on offer, you must want to change.
Definitely. Anyone on the planet has to want to change.
Want to. Key phrase.
Or just want what you want. You have to want what you want. You can't help anyone who doesn't really want to, you know. Everyone knows that. It's like even if you've got a child or a partner or friend and you think, God, I really want you to help you. But if they don't want to help themselves, it's not impossible, right? So it's the same in coaching. So, yeah, just to be clear, everyone will get that information. So look out for it in your inbox. But today we're here to talk about uncertain futures. This is the common question I'm getting. Everyone's in an uncertain future. Whether we like it or not, the future is uncertain for a lot of people at this point. You know, would you agree, Ben?
Yeah, but when is it ever? When is it never?
Yeah, when's
That's
it never?
I'm trying to tell to people, like, when has the ever future never been uncertain? Now we're making it public news. It seems to be a problem. And I'm like, because people have the skill set and knowledge to understand vision and future. I get that, because we've never been taught to. These are the principles that we do, Si, right? This is what the codes we live by. But if you just slow down a minute, like, when is the future ever been certain? That's the only thing that ain't. So when someone asks me this question, you know, we're living in a future, we're uncertain, like, I struggle to understand that question. I struggle to understand that level of uncertainty, right?
Here's what I think. Well, here's what I kind of think on this. The trouble is, in this situation, it's not uncertainty, it's lack of control we don't like, right? It's always uncertain.
Say that again, Si. Say that again. That needs saying again.
It's the lack of control we don't like. It's not the uncertainty, is it? It's not like, oh, it's because our future is always uncertain. It's the unknown, but it's the lack of control we don't like. Like now, it almost feels like for most of us, it's been taken out of our hands. I had lunch with a good friend yesterday, or coffee. An old client of mine, well, I hate that word client, but she was in our programs, brilliant woman, very successful events company. Their whole business, boom, events. Working for Red Bull, big company. When you work for Red Bull, you know, you're not fucking about. That's big old shit. And it's like, boom, and it's out of your control. And we were chatting. I was like, you've done nothing. It's not like you're crap all of a sudden. Somebody's better. You've done nothing wrong, but it's been taken. And it's the lack of control I think we struggle with. But we only ever, the fastest way to feel out of control is to try and control what you can. That's the most uncontrolled. You know, when you're trying to control what you can, you're always going to be out of control, aren't we? When I try and control people, that sounds bad, control people. But, you know, when you care and you want to, oh, God, I wish you were this way. I wish you'd see that. When I try and control someone's behavior, I struggle. When I try and control an outcome I can't, I struggle. When I try and control anything outside of me, I struggle. And this is the same for everyone. And so Ben's bang on.
Well, I read a book over the last couple of days called Who Moved My Cheese? Who Moved the Cheese, right? I advise anyone to get this. It's a 70-pager. It's the #1 ever selling book on Amazon. I know everyone makes that claim, but legit, like Amazon said it. And I don't want to ruin it for you, but just give you some insights, because that's what Simon's talking about right now is, you know, never mind is this lack of control. People want to go back to the old. Now, the concept of this story was, these 4 characters, one's Scurry, one's Sniffy, maybe not Sniff, one's Ham and one's Hem, right? Sniffy and Scurry, they don't take life too serious. If shit changes, then his nose goes in the air, he smells, and they go into the maze. And Scurry's around, and that's a little partnership that they got, right? Now, Hem and Ham I think it is, they find this big block of cheese, and they just get comfortable. They're not realizing every day that they're eating this cheese is getting smaller, it's also molded. So one day they come back, cheese is gone. Sniffy and Scurry are like, okay, new cheese, we have to go and find it, which makes them have to go back into the maze, which makes them go into the place of uncertainty, which makes them go and find in this story better, right? But now Ham and Hem, they're stuck there like losing the shit. No, the cheese has to come back. Where's the cheese gone? How could the cheese go? We had our heart set on this cheese. How could this even happen to us? Who's to blame for this, right? To the point, one of them doesn't get it. The other one goes, wait 1 minute. Maybe I have to go back into the maze. Maybe I have to stretch myself. Maybe I have to upgrade myself. Maybe I have to go into uncertainty again, go down corridors I've never been before. The moral of the story is, you can probably guess, they go and find new cheese, but the one person doesn't and lives sitting there hoping that the old will become new again. Now, that's not what life's code's about, right? It is all about the body loves to progress and move. And I know more than anything in this time of lockdown that people have found skill set and knowledge that they thought they'd lost. And when you're pressured into adapting and adjusting, look what most of us look at, and especially me, and especially Sal, look what we're capable of doing when we put ourselves on the line.
Yeah, definitely. Mate, I actually hope that mice really think like this. Is it about mice?
No, it's 2 mice, 2 little people. I mean, I'm going to get you this book. I thought you and already. I absolutely loved it. But the whole point is, your cheese will always move, and the people have a level of discomfort with change, which is natural, because at some point it's there to protect us, right? Because we have to assess. But that's where people are just so sedated in comfort and not change and finding something that they think. So, you know, cheese will always go moldy. Cheese will always move. If you keep eating the cheese, it's going to end up going anyway. So now people are forced to be changed. Calling it, huh?
I do love cheese as well.
We're a couple of cheesy guys, right?
What's your favorite cheese? Everyone on it. I love the story though, man. I love you've got so into it, because you are a good storyteller. But it's true though, and the thing is, life's always moving. Nothing in life is static. Everything is in constant change all the time around us. Yet we don't like change. It's a funny little thing, isn't it? Even we're changing as we speak. Our cells are regenerating. Yeah. Mad. 2
million cells, I think, by the time we fit. No, 2 million cells a minute. I'll have to get that again. But yeah, and change is happening by you. No, what was it? It's by happening with you, or it's happening not with you. What was a saying that we used to say?
Well, change. You're either on the leading edge of change and creating it, or you're reacting to it. That's what I'd say. For me, you're either trying to go right. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Yeah, and we're going to share a few things for everyone here, just so you can go, you know what? Yeah, there's something I can do from this. But if you want to know, if you want to predict your future, any of us, I think then you have to take an active role in creating it.
Oy.
That is, for me, I was thinking about this morning, and I've thought about this so many times. I think I put this in my book. If we're all creators. We're creating every second of the day, whether we like it or not. We're creating. We're thinking, we're feeling, we're taking choices all the time. We're always creating. Yeah. We like to think we're not, but we always are. And there's a whole load of shit in life that you can't, that's being creating as well. Other people are creating, life creates, but we are creating also our own little version of this reality. Now, we want to take an active role in that. Hands down. That's the only way to predict your future, is to start going, how can I shape it and create it? Like if you was lost at sea, you could either just sit there and go, right, I can't do anything about this, blow me wherever, or you can start trying to figure it out, can't you? You know, and you know, use your skills. And so if you feel uncertain right now, nothing makes us feel more vulnerable than not having, for me, an idea of where you're going. That for me is the most vulnerable time, when I'm not sure of where I'm going next. People don't like that vulnerability. And most people who come to us to start with aren't really sure where they're going. And so it's a bit like, I feel a bit lost. And then we get caught up in trying to control what we can't. We get caught up where we can't go. Well, you know, my business because of this, or, oh my God, this person's, I can't change them. It's like, well, you've got to concentrate on what you can change. So what, you know as well as me, Ben, what's the first fucking principle? You know, it's vision, right?
100%. 100%. And again, you know, vision isn't this masterpiece. Doesn't have to be this masterpiece. Sometimes it's just the next logical step. Moving forward, we create a vision. We know where we're at. That takes some truth. We have to look at ourselves, and sometimes has to be critical. We have to sometimes even laugh at ourselves, which usually debunks the way we're feeling. But, you know, you find out where you're at. You've got some type of vision, and you fill in the gap. Now, this is very purposeful. These are some of the foundations of creating a better future, moving towards something. And, you know, this is then helping overpower the will to get where you're going, because if it means something to you, literally, you know people without these skills, right? Without some of the skills that Sai teaches, some of the skills that I teach. But when someone is so hell-bent on their vision, they are unbreakable, unstoppable, unbeatable. And because they're so driven in where they're at. Now, it's not even the vision that's the end goal. Like you read, you know, the man Jason Kane, you know, this guy done one of the world's toughest expeditions. Kakora, is it, Sai? Yeah?
Kakora, yeah.
Completed it and got a pat on the back. And then you realise, actually, it wasn't the destination. It was the journey that he loved and enjoyed. And that's where the profits and the fruits lie. So why wouldn't we want that? Because the vision that we get where people are losing the shit is from a young age, go school. I'm not disrespecting the system or in any way, or this vision. Go school, go uni, get a good job, get half decent money, meet the partner of your life, have a family, get an house, couple of holidays a year, and boom. Hopefully you make it to retirement and got enough money to see out your days. Now, once that vision or that strategy or that goal is disrupted, look how people are losing the shit. But that's not saying that's the wrong vision to have. I'm just saying you have the ability to make a different vision because we're already doing it anyway, right?
And I think people will always change their vision of what they want. Think of vision as like what future you want. The future is always in motion. The future is not static. It's always in motion, depending on what we're doing. And sometimes I've got to play, as I'm going along, it's a bit like going on a real nice walk up a hill, isn't it? You're walking up a hill, you're like, wow, look at that view. You get a bit higher. Wow, look at that view. And maybe I want to go over there. Maybe I want to go over there. It's like, that's what happens when you're moving. So the most important thing anyone can have is an idea of what they want in life. Not even in life, like this year, this month, everyone's the uncertain future. Well, decide what's important to you. What do you want? And not what you don't want. Every 7-day challenge I run, we do this challenge where at the start, some of you probably done it with me, where you're like, what don't you want? And it's like, bum, 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 bum. Everyone can list what they don't want. I'm fed up of feeling crappy about my job. I'm fed up of feeling down. I feel stressed. I feel where they don't want any of that. Well, you can't create what you don't want. You can't say, what's your vision to not have that? Well, that's not your vision. To not have something, what do you want? Oh, I don't know. I just don't want that. We think that's the same thing, but it's very different.
Yeah.
And then you get people to flip it and say, well, if you don't want to feel stressed, what do you want? Well, I want to feel calm. Okay, that's a start. Well, I don't want to feel like stuck in the same job. What don't you like about it? The hours, the money. So what do you want then? I want better hours. What hours are they? These hours. Okay. What money is better money? Oh, this money. I want more time with my family. Oh, great. Now we're getting a vision of what people want. And that's the most important thing. When people first start anything, especially when you're in stressed areas of life, you can't really you don't look bigger because survival and stress makes you look in front of you. So it's very easy to go, here's what I don't like. Well, maybe the opposite of that is the direction I will go in. And as you explore, you get better. I like the story you told. I like the story you told about Jay, because I keep saying, when you were saying it's all in the journey, I was on an academy feed the other week. I think I was talking about the collecting the gold. We think we're going to get to the end of the journey and there's this pot of gold.
Yeah.
But the pot's always empty. So a lot of people go along their journey, like can't wait to get to this pot at the end where they're happy, where they're confident, where they're free, where they're, great. They get to the end and like, it's not here. The pot's empty.
But look in the bag and there's a bag of gold, right?
Well, where's the gold? The thing is, the gold is picked up along the way.
Of course.
The gold is picked up when you take that first step and you do something for yourself. That's a little win. You pick that bit of gold up and then you overcome this obstacle. You hit a setback, but you figure it out. Oh, that's the gold. And as you're going along the journey, you keep picking up all this gold. If you're looking and if you're clever and you start to embrace the journey, you enjoy it a little bit. And then you get to the end and you say, there's an empty bucket. Boom. Then you lob all your gold in it. And you say, wow, I can fill my bucket with all my gold. And that is how, if you don't follow that method of trying to see the journey as part of it, then guess what? You're always looking, because the next journey will have the pot of gold because that one was empty. And the next journey will have a pot of gold. And then they never do.
No.
A bit like going into the tunnel. The people looking for the light at the end of the tunnel never get to the end of the tunnel. There's always a bigger tunnel. And I'm not saying if you're going through shit that you're not going to get out of it. You can, but you don't get out of it through the tunnel. You get out of it by getting out the tunnel. Because the tunnel is never ending. The further you go, the harder that light just keeps pushing away from you.
That key point that you said there, that you'll never get what you want focusing on the stuff that you don't want, right? And there's nobody here that's not had some vision away from the system vision that hasn't gone and got what he wanted, right? Whether it was a car, whether it was nails, whether it was a figure in the gym, whether it was a change air, whether it was going on a holiday, whether it was a go on experience. You had that vision which sat in your heart, conducted your heart compass, and you went after it. And whatever, you know, that life journey, the process is always going to be, imagine getting to the end and going, yeah, God, I was keeping it spiritual here. Yeah, I got here. And he goes, what did you do? And you're like, I don't know. I just got here. You missed it. You missed it. You want to get there. You want to die with memories, not dreams, right? You always want to be there like, okay, well, and here's the thing. When did it become so fearful to even go after what you want?
Oh, what a question. What stops you going after what you want on here? I'd love to know. That's the idea. That's why we do these little things live. Everyone's like, why are you doing a live thing at 3 o'clock on a Thursday? Like, there's nobody around at 3 o'clock on a Thursday. It's like, well, A, there's always some people around at 3 o'clock on a Thursday because not everyone's working. And B, I don't, as much as I love talking to Ben.
Yeah,
because I can't. As much as I love talking to Ben, it's nice to have some people here just to interact with and like fire things across and say, yeah, like make it an interactive process. So what do you think, you know, answer it. What stops you going after what you want? It's a really amazing question. Fantastic
and
question.
because it's 3 o'clock.
Hello, Ben's gone. Ben went and then he came. Because it's 3 o'clock, he's gone. He'll be back any second. But while we're waiting for Ben, what is it? What is it that you that stops you going after what you want? Do you think? Do you know what you want? Is it you know what you want and you just can't get after it? Time and money? Pure fear. Fear of failure.
You kicked me out, bro. You kicked me
out.
out.
I had enough of you, mate, to be honest.
Yeah. Too much positive vibes coming from us, man.
People are saying the answer to your question, like what stops you? Fear, me. Well, not me. Well, it's not you. You can't put that. You're not allowed to put me. What about you? Panic, confidence, don't really know what I want. Yeah, common. Bit of fear. Confidence, my shit education. Is it your shit education or is it the fact you won't re-educate?
I saw that story.
Confidence. Yeah. So the first thing for everyone, if you're stuck, right, is what we're trying to say. There's 3 steps. Number 1, if you're stuck in this and you're overwhelmed and afraid of this uncertain future, then nothing is more overwhelming and fear generating than not taking control of it, than not creating it. Don't be a reactive participant in your life. Don't participate.
Say that again.
Well, don't be a reactive participant just bumbling along with, I've got no say. You have more say than you'll ever understand. More say.
Man, don't be a participant in your life, full stop, man. I love that. Man, there's so hopefully some love and lights coming off the back of that.
And just be that active creator. And it's not that hard. It's just every thought, every feeling, every action, every decision is creating. So really important stuff. So get a little vision. And if you're struggling, write down what you don't want. And then maybe flip to the opposite. I love doing that. Flip the opposite and go, you know what? What is the opposite of what I don't want? And then you'll have a direction. It's so important. But the first thing you can control is your vision of the future. Nobody can take that from you. Does that make sense, folks? What we're saying about crafting one. I know this is a bit more practical today than normal, but crafting a direction is so important. Without one, you're waiting to hear, where can I go? What can I do?
And if you imagine being somewhere and you're lost, like, you know, when people lose the phone or the keys and you're losing your shit because you can't find it because you have no vision where they are. That's how people are going about in life right now. And I've been there too, and that's what I'm saying. If you have crystal clarity vision, like I said, not to be big or small, you know, Simon will vouch for this, you will never procrastinate or be overwhelmed. Well, you might procrastinate a little bit, but you won't be overwhelmed. Because a simple thing, you have direction, you have something to work towards. And here's the opposite of what having vision is right now. If you are consumed with no vision, then whatever you focus on right now is your vision. And that's the destination you're driving to every day. So this can be as small as watching the news or hearing that shit or repeating that internal vision every day, visiting that, driving there, getting the same drive-through meal, getting the same emotional feedback, reinforcing it. That's not vision, but that's what the body will do if you don't have vision. It will be the counteractive part of If you ain't driving there, then we're driving there. And then we give it meaning, then we give it energy. And it becomes a shitty little destination with shitty little results. And what I said there, you just end a participant in your own life, focusing on everything else around you that's irrelevant and trying to control shit that's out of your control. Never was in your control. So the thing you can take control of is right now, a time and place for a destination, big or small, to work towards. Understand that skill set, understand that knowledge, get them reps in, start to see breakthroughs, start to see steps, start to see difference in your life. And now this is the informative part of the action that you're taking that will yield a result regardless of the size and the clarity of the vision.
I think, like I said, if anyone who's been in on our 30 days, we spend like a week getting people clear before we start, right? And people just want to get into the mind stuff all the time, because that's what they come to us for. And I want to get into all the mind stuff. But they don't realize the mind stuff's irrelevant if you don't have something to anchor your focus on. And that's a vision of the future every time. And there's nothing 10 years. You know what I mean?
I remember walking through Malvern with me and you remember us going up that hill. And you was like, look, you know, here's where we're at. Like, really, in your vision, no vision is set in stone, right? No path is set in stone. So you can't create a path and a plan without no vision to walk towards, because there's going to be a little bit of unconfidence. There's going to be that little bit of fear. There's going to be that bit of uncertainty. There's going to be that bit of element of change that holds you back, because you are stepping into the dark a little. But that beacon that you're working towards, that vision, the process starts to become visible.
Yeah.
And you start to get some real cut.
The destination, you know, the path along to the destination is always changing. People get so caught up in having the path look exactly right. You know, the destination is what's important, having that clear. If you've got the destination important, enjoy the steps along the way. You know, is any journey too long? Probably just too boring, you know? Most people are in a hurry to get to the end of their because they're so fed up of their journey. Well, you know, create a better journey.
I remember we measure backwards to aim forwards.
Yeah. And so I think the second thing we always teach that anyone can control is their energy, right? If you've got a little idea of where you're going, the second point is, you know, you control your vision, control your energy. Anyone right now can control their energy on the planet. Anyone is capable of that, and we are always creating our energy. I don't just mean your physical energy, like Ben, you know, said about go for a run. We don't mean that, do we? We mean like you've got a lot of different accounts, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And the way you feel is a big deal, and you do have choice in how you feel. Now that when you hear that, it's quite hard when you think, no, they made me feel that way. I get all that. You know, I understand what you're saying, but ultimately we have a great choice in the energy we have, and unknown circumstances make us very survival based. So if you're not sure where you're going, and if you're trying to control the uncontrollable, we become very survival based. We become very narrowed in, and our energies take on the form of stress, worry, anxiety, etc., etc. Now in that space, in that energy, it's impossible to go and create better things and be an active creator, because we're geared to protection. That's why everyone lost their shit when lockdown first started. Not everyone, but, you know, everyone went into protection mode, selfish protection mode. Boom, 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 boom. It's all about protection. You know, that's what sort of unknown things do. Now you can't go be greater when you're stuck in that zone. And so, ultimately, the second thing we will try and control is our energy. And for us, it's getting everyone out of these survival states. If you're stressed consistently, worried consistently, frustrated consistently, all these consistent emotions, they to me are reactive survival-based emotions every time. And the first thing we can start doing is fill up the energy pots. That's for me. Any person that first comes to us, it's like, fill up some energy pots. You talk about this a lot, Ben, but fill up your physical bank account, fill up your mental bank account, fill up your emotional bank account. Because if you are overdrawn in those accounts, you've got nothing to create with. You know, change is hard enough as it is, let alone if you're tired mentally, frustrated, emotionally drained, physically exhausted, like, you know, constantly anxious, overwhelmed, afraid, what are you going to create good from that position?
Yeah.
Absolutely fuck all.
No, you're completely right. And like a analogy of this, if you got this destination in your car, you're going right, boom, we're going there. You've never been there before, using your sat nav. You got a shitty car with flat tires, no fuel in the tank, no water in there. And it doesn't matter how hard you want to get there, you ain't getting to that journey. So the energy, having a vision or trying to create a vision, like Si's saying, in a survival part of the brain, which is protective, not creative, that is just going to be more stress on your stress. That's gonna bring more doubt, more fear, more frustration, more overwhelm. Try to create from that state. So the energy and calming the brain and getting that level that we're coming out of survival, and we can see some peripheral vision, and we can see some clarity. Our energy's in place, our mental energy, our emotional energy, our physical energy. Well, this is the vehicle for the destination, to the destination. And as you go along and you get more and you get more energy, you get wiser and you get stronger and you get fitter and you get healthier, and all the accounts and the money is overflowing, you have more to spend. Therefore, the vision can become even bigger.
Yeah. And I think people always say, "Si, what's the first point of taking control of your energy?" I'll tell you what, take responsibility for it.
Oh, 3 points for that one.
Take responsibility. No shit, you got to take responsibility. I've had time. Me, I still don't take responsibility for my energy sometimes. We all point the finger sometimes about, well, this is where my energy is off, because it's easy, because the environment we're in, there's lots of things we could point the finger to. And sometimes here's the key. Maybe we're justified in pointing our finger. Maybe there is justification that has impacted us. But is that useful? Is it useful for me to pass all of my power of change over to something I can't control? Is it useful to say I could do something about it, but it's their fault, it's this fault, so now I lose all the ability I have to create better?
Yeah, you give your energy to somebody else. Who would give the money to somebody else to spend, right? It doesn't make sense. But we give our energy to things that are spending it for us, and it's a drain of energy rather than a transfer of energy. And maybe there isn't no bad decisions. And what do I mean by that? Maybe I have a crazy lifestyle and I point my finger for a long time, but where I am now, professionally and personally, making an impact and a difference in the world, along with Si, personally, I've got everything I wanted from a family. And man, I've been some but I've got me to this point, just like it has Si. And that was following at some point in my mind and my heart, a heart's compass that needed to revolutionary my whole life to get there. And now I'm there, and the vision's getting bigger, and the steps are getting bigger, and also, this is another thing that I had a problem with, being able to receive that energy.
Yeah. Massive.
Receiving it's a big thing, not just creating it and cultivating it. Receiving it is another aspect of this chat, right?
Yeah, definitely. But if you looked at the beginner coming in here, can you do something to take control and ownership of your physical energy? Can you move, hydrate? Can you take responsibility for your mental energy? How can you do that? Can you get into breathing? Can you get into meditation? Can you get into journaling? Can you get into finding space in your day? Can you take responsibility from the basic? There's 3 keys to managing energy, right? Number 1 is energy boosting, putting things in to top up your energy. Most people reach to things that don't help, caffeine, etc., when you can reach to better things. So energy boosting. The second thing really is what's draining your energy, and that's another element too big for this lockdown life. But what's draining your energy? Like what are the things you mentally drain you? What are the things that emotionally drain you, physically drain you? Can we take those out? Can we limit the drains? And thirdly is like history, the past. That's the biggest energy drain most people have, or experiences or incidents or key things that they still have a huge amount of energy around. That's again a bigger topic, and we can't talk about that today.
Well, the analogy what I'm saying there is that past, and I've done this work with Si, that's like having a browsers open on your phone. It's just draining the shit. You don't know they're there, you don't know they're draining. We need to swipe up and get rid of him, right? Or just what we would talk, forgive him and maybe we've got some compassion for it. But you imagine how many browsers we've all got open right now. They're just draining the shit out of us.
Yeah. Well, I like it was your browser analogy, really. But what it's like is something happens to you. look at the mental capacity of a human. Something happens, maybe small, maybe someone wrongs you, and you open this account up, and you put some energy in there. That's what happens. And then you go about your life, and then someone cuts you up on a roundabout, tiny thing, you know, but it annoys you. You put it in that account, and basically, then your friend upsets you. You never really bother with that, so you put that in your account. You end up with this big energy account, full, not in a good way, that robs you of energy mentally, and your brain would display that. Now, me and Ben have done some stuff where you get your brain waves on a screen, and like the biggest suppressor of a good brainwave is undealt with emotions. Fact.
Which is energy, right?
Yeah, undealt with emotions, undealt stored emotions. I don't mean dealt with by go and talk about it and understand it. You don't have to do that. I mean, getting rid of
In fact, that's the last thing you want to be doing, right, Si?
For a lot of people, yeah. Like
we don't mean talking about it because we know it's good to talk. We mean constantly talking about problem.
Yeah,
I mean, constantly talking about problem is revisiting that vision, revisiting that emotional backlog. Emotions are feedback. You're feeling it. You keep revisiting it. It keeps becoming reality. When we say talking, we talk about solution, not problem. Identify problem.
Trying to understand intellectually an emotional problem, they're two different languages. I can understand and gain understanding about something I'm angry about, or sad about, or hurt about. I can most people can get some intellectual understanding of it, but they can't let it go emotionally. They're two very different things. They're two extreme.
You can't outthink how you feel.
Yeah. So I can go, I can see why they did that. I can see why I did that. Oh, yeah. God, I can see. But, you can fall out with someone and then kind of see like that and make up, can't you? Yeah, fair enough. There's never the same. Because emotionally, we haven't let go. They're two different practices. And that's why I think too many people in mindset give the mind too much credit and not enough credit to energy and emotion. And that's the future. People are still stuck here. What people are telling me? People keep saying to me shit like, not shit, but there's some big methods out there. I want a better mindset. So what do? I question my thoughts every day. They're the same people telling me I'm not my thoughts. You're not your thoughts. So why do you question them? Because really, they have no understanding of the mind whatsoever. And I'm not being horrible saying I'm this expert. Well, I am, but I'm not like I'm the man and they're crap.
Well, you're not an expert. You're damn right you're an expert, homie.
But it's like, you're not your thoughts. But you should probably question them to see if they're true or not. Why should I if I'm not that? Completely counterintuitive. And also, it doesn't matter what you think is true. It doesn't matter what you feel is true. It doesn't matter if I think, that's true. But if this feels truer, I go with what feels truer. And so questioning thoughts as an actual daily practice is detrimental to, I think, to the human brain. End of. I just can't see anything by that. And I don't care who says it's the greatest thing on the planet. I tried it for years. And it's a constant daily battle to question your thoughts. If they're not that important.
A lot of energy, right? A lot of energy. And you try to create a better life for yourself, consumed by this puzzle that has all the pieces, doing the same thing over and over again, trying to get a different result. That's insanity, right? But we get it. We've all been there because we get trapped and absorbed in this. It's easy to fall into that trap, right, Si?
Yeah, and I guarantee you many people even listening to this probably go, I've tried to logically make sense of things that emotionally dictate. That's why when I said we got the Free Mind program out, one of the big bullet points in it was learn how to let go and master your energy. Not this fucking state shifting nonsense that's everywhere now, across the whole of Facebook. Shift your state, shift your state, shift your state. That's base level. So basically, you don't feel great, so you clap your hands, you run around, you do some burpees. I don't know, you go for a run.
Don't forget that one.
You flood your body with endorphins. You feel a bit better because you've got these endorphins. They wear off. Then you're stuck with the same old thinking that caused the problem in the first place. So then you have to do it again. Then you do it, and it's reactive and it's exhausting. We're not talking about that with shifting state. We're talking about top up your energy accounts daily, and then look at, if you want to be a real, like really take control energetically, maybe spend less time questioning this mind and more time creating things like coherent heart states and different things like that. That's the future for me of mindset training.
Well, like you said, that type of issue is masking over the problem. You might as well go and get, this is why we drink, right? This is why we have these sabotaging behaviors. It sits hand in hand with that, because no matter what, the problem's still there when we come back. So it might work for a little bit to get a little bit, you're not shifting your state, you're masking it, maybe to feel a bit better, to make a better decision and go forward. It serves its purpose there. But to resync the brain, to resync the subconscious mind, to redesign from an emotional level, it's never going to happen. You're basically hitting the VIP wall. You ain't getting into the subconscious mind. The bounce is there, like you ain't getting in. And you're back in your conscious mind. You ain't dropping back into you ain't getting into the VIP club by doing it that way. How do we know? Because we've done tons of that ourselves. We're not disrespecting it in any way. But we're telling you right now, shit doesn't work.
100%. And so I think bang on. And so other things people can do is like, what do you enjoy doing? Go more of that. Go do more of that. But also understand that just going and doing more of that can be quite reactive as well. Like needing a reason to feel good. I just don't think humans need a reason to feel good. I think you can just feel good because you can. I think we feel good as a base state until we don't feel good, like a break in the circuit. Like you feel good, something breaks the circuit, you don't feel good. But I don't think we have to go right, how do I feel good today? I should go and do all this stuff. I think it's, why don't we feel good? I think it's the breaks in the circuit, like your scale electrics. Remember that? Getting it all out, and then that you'd be running your car and there'd be a break in the circuit. It's like, you got to connect the circuit, you're hammering around with your little Ford Cosworth, and then it come to a bit of track and it'd be like, what's happened here?
Yeah.
I think humans should feel good because that's our base level, and we learn to not feel great. And of course, things happen in life. There's sad things happen in life. People lose pain, and other people hurt people. You can't deny stuff like that. And then, that breaks the circuit. And then it's up to us to try and figure out how to put that circuit back and connect it back up again eventually. But it's not always us breaking the circuit. Sometimes life breaks the circuit. But I think going out and trying to find things to do to feel good, isn't that exhausting?
And that's why I think we've got a nation sabotaging with behaviors, because it's that masking feel good that everyone's after. And like you said, you can't fix any internal issue from an outsourced source, from an outside source, right?
It's bang on. I think that's incredible.
But the work has to, like you're saying there, Si, it has to be in here. And if your natural base is to feel good, and here's something that I give credit Si for, is that life is about contrast. Emotions are contrast, and no emotion really is a bad emotion. They're all self-sufficient or self-serving in some way, because if shit was to hit the fan in real life, you wouldn't want your love and harmony and your feel-good emotions kicking in then. You want the emotions that we don't dread and don't want. So to be kicking in to get away into safety. So it's not a lot of this is not a mental issue. It's an emotional issue. It's an emotional intelligence. It's an emotional
emotional intelligence,
lack of skill that we have right now, that is actually very easy to fix if you're consistent with the basics.
Is there a bad emotion or just a badly applied one?
Definitely badly applied. It has to be, right? Because
people are like hate sadness, for example. We live in this world where we want to make everyone positive and uplifted. But what about that person who loses somebody or has something really sad happen, and then your reaction's sadness, but they don't let themselves be sad? That eats people alive. That eats people up.
What a phenomenal emotion to have. Imagine if you didn't feel sad and you had no remorse. And tell you what, if you took sad out the equation of feelings, then love would go with it as well. Or happy would go with it. Something like that, like the polar opposite would go, right? Yeah,
I think, aggression's bad. Is it? Or is it badly applied? Is it bad when it's applied to hurt other people intentionally? But what if it's to defend your family in a situation that is only required, where that can only be understood, where that can be the only outcome? Because there is situations, we live in this sugar-coated world where people think, Oh, that doesn't happen. Oh, it fucking does. Daily, there's somebody who defends themselves through aggression, maybe. And there's maybe they, but if we've had a bad experience of it, we label it as bad. And that's terrible, but maybe badly applied. So I think that human being is the totality of all emotions. And if you look at human beings as awareness, and we are awareness in our mind, then we aren't the absence of all the emotions we don't like. We're the totality of everything. And that's wholeness. And from wholeness, you can choose what to apply because you're not scared of them. And that's when people are generally good. People who have peace of mind are way more powerful than people who don't.
Amen to that. And just going back to what you were saying there, so this same form of aggression, if there's a situation that happens or someone's attacking you and you were to either defend yourself and they was to get seriously hurt, with that same aggression, people are both aggressive here, might have a higher level. In a court of law, you walk free for self-defense, but it's the same base emotion that's going on. And that's sometimes what you have to do with your own emotions. You need to take that bastard to court, look at the evidence and give it a guilty or not guilty. Like, you have to really look at the factual stuff and then determine what happens next. The point is, people are so reactive, we're so here, that if anything happens, anything just explodes. But yet the polar opposite of when something happens, we don't have this explosion of love. And that's, again, the receiving side of it. So the fact is, if we're so consumed with these emotions that we don't want, trying to go from that emotion to feeling happy, it don't feel like that. What will happen is, imagine if it was like all these emotions were, use an analogy of a bucket, a muddy water. Well, if you're consumed all the time, then, your emotional health is like a bucket, a muddy bucket of water. But if you keep throwing a bit of happiness in there and it starts clearing up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't have that transition, right? You've got to keep investing in it until the water is clear.
We do live in a world where we try and remove everything that we don't like. And it's impossible because you'll always find more things not to like. I'm not saying you can't go out there and try and do good in the world, but trying to do good is very different to try and take away not good. And I think in mental health, if you want to talk about mental health or brain training or brain skills, as we might call it, mind skills, one of the greatest things you can understand is to be a lot more accepting of your emotions and stop being scared of them, because people are scared of feeling certain ways because they're taught it's not good and they suppress them. And whatever you suppress will eventually bounce out and bite everyone in the ass, And so somebody who's a lot more comfortable emotionally is not somebody who's restricted or the ones that are terrible. It's the ones who's become very comfortable in them. And then they don't bite at you so much. Like when you're comfortable in with it, they're not always in your ear like, well, can't be that. Like trying not to be something is very detrimental. Try not to feel something. So
hey, what views that are coming in? Sorry, Si.
What are you gonna say?
No, I'm just interested. What are people hearing us say right now? Because I forgot people was there. Does that mean you was talking for a second here? People actually here, right? Sorry, guys, but no, this is definitely for you. But no, what are you hearing us say right now? What's something that you can take action on when you leave here? What's something you go, no, and it has to be one step. It's not a jump. It's not a leap. Just yet, just a one step. What have you got? No, today I'm going to do that. Or what are you hearing us say? Because we said a lot. What's coming in?
I forgot we were actually on I was just having a review.
Talk about being in the now. Try to put the wheels right.
Yeah, but energy is really important and it's talked about a lot. But I think it's talked about in a way. A lot of people talk about energy, but maybe don't understand it. And I'm not saying I have the world's best understanding of it at all. Always learning, always trying to learn. But
always a student, man.
Yeah, but like we do have more control of our emotions. And actually, I'm just a bit. I suppose what people always say to me, like, what upsets you as a coach, and or what people love to ask you those questions. I suppose what upsets me is I see so many people being misled and kept stuck.
And
I work with
their own
ego. Well, I think I always say I work with real people. Our Breakable System Academy is full of the people walking down the high street, just using our stuff, and I love that. But sometimes I get sad when people come to us and they've been like, yeah, I've been trying to manage my mind and with like reactive, like putting plasters on things, and And that's what upsets me the most is like, yes, there's some poor information out there. And that
And
annoys
this
me.
is something that we fight with all the time because we know, and maybe surface-based information does its part, but there's a lot of surface-based information in there. But you know, like Si says, you have to have a deep understanding because what we're playing in it literally is people's lives, and it is no joke. Like people right now, there's all struggle and there's a lot of suffering, and with some of the principles, with some of the stuff that we speak about, in fact, with anything that we speak about, it's tried and tested on ourselves, and that's it's hard values to find in the world, and I'll stand for that, right? Because I believe if people are being misled, it's not for anything for them to get a result. It's to line the pockets because you know money has that, and it's not the money's not the evil part of it. It's the way it's getting done. Now, most of the time, like giving up this, even to come on a call with me and say it's chargeable to someone who would want it. But we would do this shit for free if we knew we got people who make a difference in the world. Not that we're not money orientated or money motivated, but the fact is that that's how passionate we are and how much we believe in something that is worth more than money for people to take away and apply in their life. And if you've got those understanding and concepts in your own life, not just us, you have them values that you serve a purpose in the world, nothing more but yourself first and then everybody else. Imagine how better the world would look right now. And it is because publicize the boring shit or the shit that does work doesn't get enough for that doesn't. This is a reason why people are pumping their lips full of shit, you know, concerned of what people think on a day-to-day basis from an external world, in need of acceptance of what other people think rather than their own opinion.
I think for us, I get a bit bored of people trying to manage their mind. And that's what I see most of the tactics are. They're managing plaster tactics. If you went to your physio to get your injury fixed and they just taught you how to manage it, even though it could be fixed, that would be a disservice. But we do that mentally and mindset wise all the time. It's like we teach people to manage your mind, manage the most creative thing on the planet. I don't want to manage it. I don't want to I want it to work for me. I want to be free of it. I want it to create wonderful things. So
that's powerful, man. And how exhausting is managing anything?
Exactly. So the third thing, we've got one more thing, and I got to get out of here because I've got an appointment to get to. But the third thing is when you can control your vision, so go create one, a simple one. You can control your energy. Start by energy boosting in productive ways. Maybe look at energy drains that are robbing you of energy, but take control of your energy. Don't let anyone rob you of that. And that's a skill you got to learn, but you know, et cetera, et cetera. We can't cover it all. Third thing is take control of your focus. Take control of the way you think. You can control that. And I don't mean control it like wrestle it, but I mean you can take responsibility and be the creative participant in that. So, correct, the creator in it, not the participant. And I'll keep this real quick. For most people, stop plastering it. Stop the distraction techniques. The thing that people need to be well versed in understanding is managing awareness. And if you can manage where your awareness goes into your mind, into your life, you'll start to manage the way you think. That's the first point of call, what you put awareness on. The second point of call is I cannot get away from the fact that most of your thinking of a human being is subconscious. It's habit, it's repetition, it's the same every day. 95% of it, boom, 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 formed through repetition, formed through experiences that you've had that you've changed the way you thought. So memories formed through, what you were brought up to believe, so formed through sort of conditioning. Now you can change that. It's not set in stone, but that involves a little bit deeper work. That involves a little bit more than just like thinking positive, that's a plaster. And I just can't see, I think most people spend their whole life, unless taught, battling against this faulty program. They would say life is a printout of your subconscious mind. So rather than fighting that, and that's why I think people's minds aren't free, because we fight against our beliefs, fight against, these old experiences and stored energy, fight against, the recurrent habits, thinking habits, right? When we could create better ones. It's a bit complicated for this little chat here, but that's why we're exhausted, ultimately, from the mental battle of fighting, and we don't even know what's happening because it's under the surface. But if you're not into some kind of repetitive, visualization style, deep practice, you're not going to change that. And that is where the magic is. That's where the power is. If you can get your subconscious and conscious mind aligned with what you want. So your conscious is generally, hey, I want this. Your subconscious is, yeah, but this is what we always do. If you can get them in line on the same team, life becomes very, very simple. Life is hard still. Life is, things happen, but your thinking is so much simpler. And that comes from some decent practice. That doesn't come, like I said, through just thinking positive thoughts when you feel down. That's irrelevant. This is systematic.
That comes from doing the 30-day free mind program. That's where you find them skills. That's where you find them. No joke.
Program, of course. But seriously, even beyond that, like, that's where the work of mindset needs to be done. Energy and just thinking rather than just reactive tactics. And why we want to control this future. People, we're here today to talk about uncertain futures. Well, what you think about most generally manifests most in your life. And I hate that word manifest because people all of a sudden think it's some weird thing, but comes most. You just observe your own thinking. What you tend to think about the most frequently, if you really observe it, tends to happen a lot.
Oh shit. And that's massive. That's what he's talking about with focus. What you focus on grows. And people talk about affirmations and resyncing the subconscious mind, a little daft habits that you can apply. But if you keep them reinforcing, that's like another affirmation. I can't do this. I won't do this. I'm not good enough. Or you keep telling yourself that. Your worst. Everyone's worst on critic is themselves. But you keep reinforcing that, it will become reality, and that's how you dictate the steps of the direction of your own life, either by high energy and great thoughts and feelings, or low energy, low thoughts and feelings, to a destination either you're working towards, or that's just dominating you. And we have to take our pick, and that's where that self-care and that understanding of that and that awareness that we're bringing on there, it is down to you to take some action with. And why shouldn't you? Who's stopping you? And if it's you, then you need to get out your own way.
And why are these 3 steps in this order is really important? So vision, you're going to stay stuck, end of. Why is energy come after that? Why is it first? Why not think inside? Because thinking really creates how you feel. Well, actually, for the most part, it's easier to alter how you feel chemically at that point than it is how you think. And you can't just sit there thinking positive if you feel the counter, because your body and your mind just says, wrong answer. It only really absorbs information that agrees with how it feels. So feeling first. So you have to create coherence first through techniques. And then when you've got that, then you can layer on the thinking, and your brain goes, oh yeah, maybe. But otherwise, like I always use the example millions of times, it's like being really angry. That's how you feel. That's your emotion. That's your energy. And somebody said, calm down, Ben. It doesn't really matter, mate. You don't just go, oh yeah, thanks, brilliant. Your brain says, fuck, get out. Even though it might be true. Your brain says, I can't absorb, I'm not listening to that nonsense because my emotion wins. Emotion, feeling wins. And you can move your feeling through very simple things. And when you do, and then you layer on top better thinking, you become very powerful. But for a lot of the time, it's the order you do those things. Even when we teach pivoting in our group, it's breath, a better emotion, shift their awareness. It's not shift their awareness, then feel better. It's change your energy a little bit through breath, not through running around. Move your awareness, take an action. All of a sudden you've pivoted, you've moved. That's why it's in that. Any training should go in that order. Vision, energy, focus. I don't care what it is. So, Ben, mate, I think I'm all talked out. I've missed you. And people do generate a good, solid journaling practice. Generate a good, solid visualization style, space finding meditation practice. And get good at that. Don't just pay it lip service. Start crafting a little direction to move forward. Top up your energy accounts. But all that's irrelevant if you don't take responsibility for where you're at.
Yeah, well, that's like the sub before vision, innit? You got to see where the hell you're at. Once you know where you're at, you know where you can go. But now, man, it's been an absolute blast to be back on the mic with you there, Home Slice. And again, for the people that are in, we love and appreciate you. But right now, if you love it and you care for it, share it. Someone might need to hear this message again today. I'm going to cut to the chase, be direct. For all the stuff that we was talking about today, Simon's program starts. When's it start, Si?
We start Monday.
Yeah, and you say, you got to understand that you got to look at this as an investment in you, in where you want to go. And really, what's the cost if you don't? And that's where we're at right now. People have to take a step forward. The capacity of giving you the skill set and knowledge and the wisdom is one thing, but you applying it is the next. And it 100% works with 100% of people that put it in, and that's where we're at right now. So yeah, on to next week. Who do we got on next week? Is it Phil? Phil on next week.
Thomas Phillips. Mr. Thomas Phillips.
Tom Phillips next week. That's going to be an absolute blast. And then we got Phil the week after. Again, can you ask questions? Is there a way of these guys asking questions if you want some questions answered? Maybe put them on this feed.
We'll send a form, mate.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Okay. Ben, I'll catch you tomorrow.
All day.
Yeah, go steady. Folks, it's been a blast. Thank you for your time. If you got something from it, like it, share it, tag someone in it. And Steven's in our program, actually. See you Monday. You will see me Monday, my man. You are one of the free minds.
Go, Steve.
Can't wait. Everyone else, go steady. Have a wonderful Thursday. Catch you later.
See you later.